After the long wait, Obsidian's super anticipated game, The Outer Worlds, is out, and I'm here to give you my first impressions. Alright, let's get right into my first impressions of the game. If you're a fan of Fallout New Vegas, you will be at home with this game. Not much is different from it, which is why I enjoy it so much. You know, a lot of companies, they try to do something different to try to make the game look more appealing to the mass audience, but I'm comfortable with the game not changing that much, especially since it's good. That's why I enjoyed Borderlands 3 so much. It was pretty much Borderlands 2, but better in almost every way, which is why I enjoyed it, and I can say the same thing for The Outer Worlds. This game is a blast to play. So when you first start the game, you'll probably be confused because the map will be a lot smaller than you're used to, especially if you're coming from a game like Fallout or Elder Scrolls. But fear not, there's multiple planets in the game. That's why the planet you're on may be smaller in comparison. I haven't left the first planet yet, but I can. But I wanted to do all the side quests first. I was really curious to see what the world had to offer. If you're familiar with Fallout or Elder Scrolls, then the way skills work won't be that much of a surprise to you in this game. There are different attributes and they each host their own set of skills. When you level up, you get 10 points to distribute among these skills, and when you select a certain attribute, all skills that attribute hosts go up by 1 until one skill reaches 50. Then you have to level up that skill individually and you can't level it up as part of the attribute anymore. Another thing that Elder Scrolls and Fallout fans will be familiar with is perks. Every 2 levels you get a perk that can aid you in combat, if you want to move faster, if you want to travel while over encumbered, things like that. Another cool thing is that even your allies in this game can get perks, and they have their own levels. And there's a unique flaw system in this game where your character can have certain flaws. Certain flaws, they negatively affect your stats, but if you take on the flaw, you get a perk point. So it's a pretty good trade-off. I discovered one of these flaws while I was out in the overworld. I was getting bodied by marauders pretty hard, so I was relying a bit too much on my medicine, and so I almost developed an addiction. And if I had accepted the flaw, then my dexterity would have gone down. If I was going through withdrawals, I would have lost perception, and I would have lost strength as well too, I think. But if I accepted the flaw, I would have got a perk point in exchange, but I declined it because I didn't want to have to deal with an addiction. One common complaint I've heard about this game is that there's not really that many risks taken. I completely disagree with this. With the way the story's been carried out so far as I played it, it kind of questions your morals a bit when you're making some tough decisions. When you're doing the main quest, at least. I don't really know about side quests because I haven't really done one like that yet. But when it came to the main quest, I was in a pretty tough spot. One of the towns, you know, it's full of people that just work their employees to death, and they're not even really seen as people over there, and they believe in natural selection. So the people most qualified to receive meds when people get sick, basically people that can contribute the most to the town's development, they get the medicine, and people that are incapable of contributing to the town, whether they're just too old, they're just not healthy, or if they have the plague, which is the flu probably, you don't get help. You're left to fend for yourself. It's a pretty awful place. You get worked to the bone. There was also this stupid thing where if somebody dies and you're close to their corpse, you get fined because you were the closest one to the corpse. It's a really dumb rule, and the town is just a messed up place. I really did not like being there. I didn't like some of the higher ups in that town, how they just acted like this was some sort of normal behavior. I was disgusted by it. I wanted to get rid of these people. And I thought I had my opportunity when I came into my first opposing faction, but lo and behold, because you know I'm never gonna just, if something sounds like it's too good to be true, it probably is. And I found out something pretty horrible about the leader of that other faction, and I was conflicted because I was forced to make a pretty tough decision that would leave one faction out high and dry. And you were forced to make a decision. There was no way out. Both factions were not that great, so it wasn't like, and it didn't really seem like there was a lesser of two evils in the situation. At least for me, there wasn't. So I had to do a coin flip to make a decision, and so I had to live with the decision I made. And the consequences weren't even that heavy because the faction liked me less, but I was still doing quests for the people there. So my rank in the faction overall ended up increasing after I did all the side quests. So if there was any complaints that I had about this game, it's that so far, don't forget, I'm not done yet. I haven't even left the first planet, but I've done all the side quests and main quests on it. But the complaint I have so far is if there's gonna be consequences for my actions, I want them to be hard. Like, I felt like I should have been vilified by that faction after what I did. Like, it confused me. Another complaint I have is I feel like skills, like, I don't really get super excited increasing skills in the game, because the thing is, it's like Oblivion, where like when you increase your points in a skill by a certain amount, you unlock something special for that perk. Except with Oblivion, it was 25 points. In the Outer Worlds, it's every 20 points. But I feel like the perks you unlock for every 20 skill level ups, in my opinion, they don't really get you excited, or at least they don't get me excited. That may just be me, but it's you know, it's something that is too late to change, but it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, that was my first impressions of the Outer Worlds. I will probably have a full review when I'm done with the game, but that probably won't be for a while because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very long game. Anyways, this is KD360 from YaBoiJake. If you like what you heard here, make sure you subscribe. The full review will be coming in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that.